Aha, we are live. We are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to
Hi.
what the 54th happy half hour. 5
No,
4.
it's 53.
No,
Is it
yeah,
50?
53, 53.
Oh,
Last
53rd
last
happy
week
half
we
hour.
celebrated
Okay.
a year of happy half hours.
That's right. So glad I got you around to keep me straight. Keep me straight. Welcome, everyone. If you are new, I am David Shakavich. This is my daughter and partner in the business, Sam Shakavich. We are partners in Carolina Retirement Planners here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And for the last 53 weeks, we have brought you each Thursday at 4:30 a little happy half hour where we have some fun and we also talk about usually a financial topic and retirement-oriented topic that may be of interest to people. And what's our topic today, Sam?
So last week we were talking about what earns more, an IRA or a Roth. And I'm so sorry, my dog the storm has put my dog on edge. And this week we are going to be talking about how to do the 2 ways to do a Roth conversion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you're having a storm there, huh?
Yes, I am. You know, it's not as bad as it could be. We're still doing the happy half hour. You know, it's telling me my internet connection's unstable, but I'm still here. It's been very windy. I'm sure that everyone who may be watching this is also experiencing some wind and some rain today, but it's not too bad. So I'm assuming from this view that you may not, and your verbiage, that you may not be where I'm at. Are you?
That's right. I am sitting several hundred miles to the west of you in Louisville.
Louisville,
and,
Kentucky.
I'm here for a conference, one of those financial conferences where all the AE Wealth people get together and you know, learn stuff. And I'll tell you a couple things about Louisville. One is, by the time you leave the airport, you are really thirsty because you get off your gate and you walk down through all the aisles and there's all these signages advertising. In this airport, almost all of them are advertising whiskey, bourbon. I mean, you just walk out of here, you're ready for a drink, you know?
And that is your liquor of choice.
It is when you're in this town, I'll tell you, you know, it just, when it is one of my liquors of choice, but Manhattan, that's my go-to drink. And there's one in my near future. What are you drinking right now anyway?
Well, that's why I got distracted. My husband actually wrote me, look how cute is this? He wrote me a little thing about my beer. I'm drinking another honeymoon beer from Brussels, Peshmel.
Super cute that he wrote you a note. I love it.
How cute is that?
That's right. And with
little
this
data sheet.
I love it. I mean, you guys are like the serious cutest.
It's a high fermentation amber beer and half lambic.
He also has a degree in fermentation. He has a degree in fermentation technology. He's a brewer at Waterline. I always joke on this program. A son-in-law who's a professional brewer doesn't get better than this. Also on the call with us is Amy. Amy, what are you drinking today? Amy is the person that keeps this all working.
I got a beer. I don't know what this is. It was in the fridge. It says Island Active Premium Light Beer, 88 calories. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it is what it is.
It's what you would drink on an island while you're trying to stay active.
That's right. So
yes, it is. It is.
Now, when you come to these things, they always take you somewhere, special. And last night we went to Churchill Downs, which is the home of the Kentucky
Derby.
Home of the Kentucky Derby. And we walked in, and as we walked in the gate, they handed us a mint julep. And then this guy took us on a tour. And there was great. You got to see where the owners sit, you got to see the track, you got to see the stalls and all. But there's all the names of the horses too, all the winners. Now there's some things about the Kentucky Derby I learned I didn't know. It's been going on for like 130 some years. It's the oldest continuous running sporting event in the United States. They've never missed a year. They've had a couple years where it wasn't the first Sunday last year among them, but they have run it every year for all that time. Now, the jockeys and their gear have to weigh in at I think it's 126 pounds. And so the jockeys all weigh like 110. God, that would be nice. The jockeys all weigh like 110, 115, and they have a leaded blanket, a heavy blanket they put on their horse. And so when they get up to the scales, it has to total 126 pounds. And when they get off the horse, the winner has to also weigh again and has to come in at least 126 pounds. He can be more, but not less. Well, the story goes that, it used to be that instead of a blanket, they had a saddle with lead weights in it to get it all balanced. And then the jockey, as he's, strutting around or starting off on the track, he would reach down and throw some of these weights off, trying to reduce the weight. And that is apparently where the term "get the lead out" comes from the jockeys in the Kentucky Derby.
Oh.
Now, second cool point, Secretariat, fastest horse that ever ran, lived to the age of 19. And when he died, they did an autopsy. They called it a different name for horses, but it was an autopsy. Now, the average horse's heart weighs between 7 and 9 pounds. Secretarian's heart weighed 21 pounds.
Whoa.
So his heart was twice as big as the other horses, and that may be one reason he was a winner. And one last piece of Churchill Downs trivia: there are 20 horses run each race. Apparently, it's the only race only place in the country where they run 20. They usually 14 is the max. And what position you get, what gate you get, the owners all draw lots at the beginning to see who gets it. There is one gate that no horse has ever won on. It's gate 17. Last year, apparently there was a horse guaranteed to be the winner. They thought it was going to be the top horse going, and he drew gate 17 and he did not win. So you could see, if you were the owner and you get gate 17, how dismayed you might be. So that's my Kentucky Derby trivia for tonight. Hey, we've got some people that joined us. We should say hi and then get into our presentation. You want to start, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. So hey, Brad and Teresa, Amy's mom, and Cindy, she's been outside picking up branches, and Miranda,
Miranda,
Jeff,
good to see you as always.
yes, and Kim and Lynn, she's drinking
And
her
Jeff
gin
is here.
tonic. And Lanny and Martha, hey
Lanny.
Martha, and Rick and Nadine, hey y'all, and Nancy, hey Nancy. Yep, it is windy as all. I thought that the wind was going to end this morning and it was going to be nice this afternoon, but it seems to have just gotten windier and windier. And hey Al and Brent and Rich, hey y'all, and Barbara. And
I see David's here. Diane is here. Ed, hi Ed. Jay is here.
And Ann making a killer.
Carter is here. Oh.
And Jeannie and Bruce and Carol and Phil. Oh, and an autopsy on a horse is a necropsy.
Necropsy sounds almost like a drink. I just can't. Yeah, but that's what he did say. That's what he did say.
And Susan's here too, and she recommends. Dad, I don't know if you're going to have time to do this. I think they're taking him out. He is staying downtown, but I think they're taking him out to dinner tonight. But the Hillerich and Bradsby Bat Factory is a cool tour. So if you do have time for that,
No, I don't have time for any tour any caves this time. I
Yeah.
And Eileen uh, okay, so we're going to talk about how to do a Roth conversion. There's a couple ways to do it, and and um, and it's important to understand the principle. So let me see if I can fire up my iPad here. Let's see. I got to click here and then here. Ah, I love it when the gods smile on me. So, and I thought I'd start by saying, when do you want to do a Roth conversion? And again, just a quick review. You want to do it when you think the tax rate you're paying now is going to be lower than the tax rate you're going to pay in the future. And if we think about it, here's a little view of tax brackets. And I always like pictures. So over here on the side, I'm going to do some pictures. Let's say that let's just say that this was 100,000. This was 50,000. This was 75,000. This was 200,000. Well, you know, the first 20,000, if you look here, everything between 0 and 19,900 is taxed at 10%. And then everything from 19,000 up to 81,000 is taxed at 12%. And remember, 12% is going to go up to 15% by law on January 1st, 2026, maybe sooner. Everything between 81,000 and 172 is taxed at 22%. So let's say, and I very often I met with someone the other day that we calculated where their income was, and it was at like say $60,000. That was their taxable income last year, or what we expected it to be this year. Well, you know, they could actually go and convert everything between 60 and 81. They could do a Roth conversion on that money and only pay 12% tax. So lock in that 12% tax rate. And as we saw last week, it doesn't matter if you took that tax money out, because you're growing the tax money for the tax money man and your money for you. You don't have more because you had more in the pot. You have more because you took it, made the exchange when the tax rates were lower. There's one other thing I should point out here. This is taxable income. And we're going to do something on IRMA, I think, in the future. It's just so, boring, but it's the premium you pay for your Medicare Part B. And if your adjusted gross income, or actually modified, if the top line goes above about 176,000, they're going to start charging you about $700 each person next year, in a couple of years, for your Medicare. So there's another piece there you got to be careful of. But in general, you want to convert. We know that this person's in the 12% bracket. They're probably always going to be in that 12% bracket. They might as well at least convert that extra bit to a Roth. So that's a little bit on a review of why. Now let's go and look at the logistics of it. And let's say this person has an IRA and it has $30,000 in it. And let's just say that down here, they also have a money market with $20,000 in it. Now, money market, this is just a plain money market. Taxes have already been paid. It's just plain cash sitting there. They want to convert this IRA into a Roth. Now, let's make one more assumption here, and let's say that the tax rate on all the money that we convert, the tax rate is 20%, just to keep it simple. Now, if I take that $30,000 and I convert it to a Roth, Sam, at 20%, how much tax will I owe?
Oh man, it's 4:45. You're making me do math now.
Yeah, break out your abacus, you know?
$6,000.
Right, 2 times 3, it's $6,000 they will owe in tax. Now, there's 2 places they can get this tax money from. One thing they can do is they can take it out of the IRA, out of the conversion itself, out of that 30,000, they can take the 6,000 out and pay tax. How much will they have in their Roth now?
24,000.
24,000, because 30,000 minus 6 is 24,000. But you know, they have another place they can get this money. They don't have to take that tax, pay the tax with money in the IRA. They can take the tax from the money market and pay it there. If they take the tax from the money market and pay you the tax using that, how much money do they have? How much can they convert?
The full 30,000.
The full 30. Now, dang, which do you think is better? You know, it's obviously you want to get as much into that tax-free world as possible. And if you have this extra money sitting there, that would, for most people, be a smarter thing to do. Now, let me ask another question, Sam. Is there any particular age restrictions on when you can do a Roth conversion?
No.
No, you can do a Roth conversion if you're 22 years old or you're 72 years old. You can convert a Roth at any time. But here's something you got to be aware of. If you're under 59 and a half and you take this $6,000 out of the IRA money to pay the taxes, the IRS is going to charge you a 10% penalty on that money, because you can't take money from your IRA or 401k until you're, or release your IRA till you're 59 and a half. And so for people that are younger that are doing the conversion, it's really important to probably use other monies. Once you're over 59 and a half, you can do it. But just another little nuance and all the techniques of doing a Roth conversion. So, and it also kind of goes back, we'll do it while we're at it. We got a little time. We'll do a quick review. It goes back to the tax buckets. Now, I'm going to be teaching all about tax buckets here it was Sam and I are holding a class Saturday and next Tuesday evening, Saturday morning, next Tuesday evening, we're going to hold our tax class, an hour and a half on taxes at UNCW. If you're on this call or you have a friend that many of you have already taken that class. If you have a friend that you want a refresher, or especially if you got some friends that like to take the class, I don't know, Amy, did we put instructions on the invitation?
I sure did. And I just posted the link in the comments right now on Facebook.
Go to the comments, get that link, you can go get it. But remember, there's 3 tax buckets. There's the taxable money. That's where we tax it now, essentially. That's like a money market, a CD. Dividends and capital gains are all in that bucket. And then there's the tax later bucket. Sam, what's in the tax later bucket?
That would be your IRAs, 401ks,
IRAs,
403bs, TSPs, SEPs.
very good. And then we have everybody's favorite, the tax-free bucket.
Mhm.
And
It's
what's
my
in the
favorite bucket.
tax-free bucket?
Your Roth IRAs, your life insurance, and arguably your municipal bonds.
Yeah, muni bonds are not taxed, but the interest from them can cause your Social Security to be taxed and your Medicare to go up. So so the idea, the way you make money in retirement is you move things in this direction. And so what we're doing when we're doing a Roth conversion is we're moving money from here to here. But if we pay the taxes with money that's in this first bucket in that money market, we're actually moving some of it up there too. So so just a quick piece there as to the ins and outs of well, how do you do a Roth conversion? I hope this was helpful. It's kind of fun doing it here from the 14th floor of a hotel above Louisville. So good fun. So we're getting close to the top of the air.
Yeah, we did have some questions too. Susan wants to know if you converted, in the past, if whenever you were working, you converted, an older IRA to a Roth while you were working. Now, following retirement, you have a 401k that you want to move to a separate IRA. Can you ladder a transition to the existing Roth, or do you have to set up an entirely new Roth?
You can ladder a transition to the existing Roth. The rules, and we've just talked about the basics. You don't want to do this without talking to your financial advisor or a tax professional. For instance, when you do a Roth conversion, depending how old you are, there can be a 5-year wait before you can take money out. And there's a new 5-year period for each chunk you put in there. So there's some things you need to be worried about. I don't know how the IRS will ever keep track of it with the rules they have, but there's a lot more complications and a little more twists and turns than we can cover in half an hour. That's why you should come to the class this Saturday or next Tuesday, where we're not only going to talk about 3 tax buckets, we're going to talk about 4 tax buckets and a whole lot of other stuff. Okay, so I hope that helped. Yep, you can keep piling it into one Roth. You don't have to start a new Roth each time. What else we got, Sam? Any other questions?
Rich wants to know if RMDs need to be taken prior to converting.
Okay. RMDs, you know the answer to this, Sam. What's the...
Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. If you are of RMD age, you cannot convert your RMDs to a Roth. You always have to take your RMDs first, and your RMDs are always going to be the first thing that comes out of your qualified or your IRA accounts when you are of RMD age.
Yeah, you can't convert an RMD to a Roth. One reason to try to get it done as much as you can before 72, because it kind of eats up your headroom. And as Sam said, the RMDs come out first. So if you were to take money out of your IRA in January and put it into a Roth, and then later take your RMDs, you could be in trouble, because by definition, the first money out has to be your RMD. So that's why you got to call someone. This is why Sam and I go to twice a year. We go see Ed Slott and join his elite IRA group, because there's a lot to it.
And Al, as far as we know, the 22% rate is not changing in 2022. I saw that you asked that up earlier. I'm not sure if my dad misspoke. He may have said 2022 instead of 2026. If he did, disregard that. If you have heard that the 2022 rate is changing, or the 22% rate is changing in 2022, That is not the case. Or that we know so far. It could change at any time, but as far as we know, that it is not currently set to change. And Jeff, the sunset tax rates in 2026, they are set to go back to the tax brackets, pre-Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So the tax brackets back from 2016.
Yeah,
I don't know if they might change the income levels to fit into the brackets, but the brackets will go back to the 15%. We've been enjoying
the income levels. The income levels kind of go up every year, but it's just the brackets are due to, if Congress does nothing, which is something Congress is pretty good at, they do nothing, they're due by law to go back. And so it's a guaranteed tax increase. And at the same time, man, we've been racking up a lot of bills. We almost need someone brave enough to fix the tax situation, but I don't know.
And so, Brent, as far as there's not a special IRS form you would use as far as paying your conversion tax. Often whenever you're taking a distribution from an account, whether an IRA account, you will have the option to withhold your taxes up front. And, the custodian will allow you to do that. And so you can either opt in to hold some taxes, or you can say, don't withhold taxes and choose to pay them yourself from, a money market or your bank account, your savings account later.
Yeah, we're almost at the hour. I'll tell you, other questions you may have, here is how you can find the answers. You can go to carolina15.com. That'll take you to our calendar.
I posted that in the comments as well.
Okay, and if you go there, you can book a 15-minute phone call.
I'm not sure that you spelled calendar right.
Yeah, well, if I could have spelled, I wouldn't have had to go into engineering. I could have been a famous novelist, So
how much whiskey did they give you during the day
I haven't had any whiskey yet. I'm looking forward to it, but it's been a long day sitting there in meeting rooms, and
I know they
They've just been plugging them with info.
That's my excuse. Yeah, it was not my spelling. So okay, so Carolina 15. You have any friends with questions? They can give us a call there too. Just a nice way to just get a question answered. So. Okay.
Well, it is time for our favorite part of the day, our wine raffle. And if you are looking at this and you're like, what's this? To enter our wine raffle each week, all you have to do is to click that, if you see our Facebook event, click that you're coming or that you're interested in coming, and we will enter you into the raffle. And if you get our emails each week, you just respond to the emails and, respond with the question that you may have about the topic we're covering, or let us know a future topic you'd like us to cover, or just say, enter me into the drawing. And if you share the Facebook event with a friend, we will give you another entry. Or if you forward the email to a friend, you have to let us know, because we are not that much of a technological ninja, but we'll give you an extra entry for that as well. All right, so the winner of 2 bottles of wine shipped directly to your house from Fermental Bottle Shop. They're located in Ogden. They're a really great local family-owned wine and bottle shop. The winner is Pat and Dave S.
Pat and Dave. Well,
yes.
Congratulations.
So congratulations, Pat and Dave.
Been clients for a long time.
So for everybody, yay. So for everybody who didn't win, please keep entering. I love putting your name in my hat, and look forward to helping you win the wine next time.
I totally failed on something I tell you guys all the time, to mute your phone. Just been that kind of day.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, with that, everyone, cheers.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Bye.